Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Against the Fence. UFC 266 has just wrapped up, and we're back for the fan cam. And this time, we've got a new addition. We've got Taylor all the way across the pond in Canada. Taylor, how are you doing, buddy?
What's good, man? Good to see you.
Doing pleasure to meet you guys face to face. Thank you for having me on.
Nah, no problem, man. I mean, you joined us for the first time for the watch long ride, and we hope you enjoyed yourself out there. To be honest, we had some good.
Oh yeah.
Good points in the chat there. Some interesting stuff.
You guys are funny. Yeah. What was your friend's name again? You had a friend also over watching it too?
Yeah, I can't remember what his YouTube name is. Something Smeagol. It's weird. Anyways, his name's
Cools
Chris.
Miguel. Cools Miguel.
Cools Miguel. That's it.
Yeah, man. Class, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for bringing him over.
Oh, of course. I appreciate him letting me use his house to do this because, as I said, my Wi-Fi is kind of destroyed right now. So
amazing.
Yeah.
What a trooper he is. What a hero.
Absolutely.
Let's get straight into this UFC 266 card then.
Yeah.
It feels like it's been a while since we've had a pay-per-view, really. What did you make of it as a whole? Did you think it stood out, of course? And what was your favorite moments in there?
Well, yeah, I think it stood out. There's pay-per-views that come by from time to time that are lackluster, to say the least, in terms of, some of the fighters on the cards. But this one in general, I don't know, there was ranked fighters on the prelims. There was people pushing up in their divisions throughout the whole thing. Even if some fights weren't as entertaining as some other pay-per-views, the pieces were moving, and that's important in the sport. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For sure. And also it's the coach's fight for the Ultimate Fighter finale. I think those nights are always kind of a big thing. It's a closer to that season, and it finishes the beef between the two teams. Well, not the beef, but the competition.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're right, and that was great to sort of see that back because it has been a long time since we've seen the Ultimate Fighter, and definitely having watching the seasons, and then you kind of the animosity kind of builds up, and then you finally get to that moment. And and we could take it back to fine seasons like Rampage Rashad and watching that, and then finally getting to see them fight. And this definitely lived up to it.
Long time coming as well. So
yes,
waiting for this one for a while.
Yeah, it was scheduled for March and things like that. But then I guess let's start with the first fight on the card then, with Jessica Andrade taking the first round TKO then. And you went for Andrade yourself as well. Is there anything that kind of surprised you in that fight? How did you feel that went for Jessica Andrade?
It kind of went how I expected it. I expected her to kind of stalk forward and impose her game plan. She's very cyborgish in that way. You know what I mean? She'll plop forward and she'll land big shots, and she takes control of the situation. And as you saw in other fights with the Thug Rose situation, she slammed her right on her head because, that's why I said if Calvia wanted to win, she really had to put forward pressure and make Andrade uncomfortable, because if you let Andrade get comfortable in there, she's gonna destroy you.
100%.
So
and that was one of the ways that Shevchenko done it, wasn't it? She didn't let Andrade get any rhythm or get going.
Yeah, and I thought it was quite surprising actually for Cynthia, because she's got a little bit of a wrestling background in there, and I was quite surprised that she didn't at least try and attempt that at all.
Yeah, I thought she would get tight. It looked like Jessica was starting to unload and getting a bit slower towards the end of it, but she didn't look for any takedown either. I thought that might have been part of her game plan as well. But I knew that she had to get her tired first. Jessica Andrade is one of those women that it's kind of, you got to survive Jessica Andrade kind of, you know what I mean?
Storm. Yeah, if you can weather the storm, then you have your best chances sort of in the later rounds. We can do a little bit more there as well. Yeah. But certainly,
absolutely,
really exciting fight, and I expected it to end first round as well. I mean, in that whole division, it's quite a prestige, isn't it, to hold that first? Would you agree with what we were saying earlier in terms of how the divisions all stacked up? You got Andrade, who's clearly one of the best girls in the division. Strength-wise, she's got great power in her hands, probably one of the strongest ones there, looking in that division. But then you got Shevchenko, which is still worlds above anyone there. You saw how she ragdolled Andrade.
Yes.
Did you think there's anyone next for Andrade? Is anyone who's on level with Andrade, or is she creating a whole prestige for that number one spot? Is it a big jump to there and then a bigger jump to Shevchenko?
It's hard to say. We'll have to see who's coming up in the contenders, but she iced Chukagian, who was number 2 at the time. So I don't know who's number 1 right now. Is it Andrade?
Andrade is number 1 at the moment, and she's comfortably holding that position. So she's sitting comfy for a while, I imagine.
Unless someone changes divisions, I think she'll have to wait for someone to push their way up. But there is strong individuals making their way up. What's her name there? I'm having a brain fart. She's Brazilian. Everyone loves her, though. She lost her last fight. Macy Barber's good, too.
Yeah. Macy Barber's pretty decent. Yeah, good on her hands.
Oh, man. What's it's racking my brain. Not the one that's just fought. Yeah. No, she was at strawweight, wasn't she?
She fought and lost recently, but I think she can push it back. She was, she was sitting with Dana for a couple UFCs. I can't remember. Oh, it's bothering me. If I had my computer around, I'd just search it up.
Okay. So she's top 10, is she? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Either way, no, I don't. I think Andrade, as you said, has kind of set a standard for what is number 1 contender in those lower divisions. And unless someone moves up or down, like maybe if Holly Holmes could push herself down to 125, it might be a different story, but I don't know.
Oh, did she lose on the fight cards today?
Talia Santos. I was thinking Talia Santos. She was on earlier.
Oh, she's good actually. Yeah. What is she? 14-1 now?
Yeah, she beat Roxanne Modafferi. I think she.
Yeah, she's looking great.
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah, definitely trying to make climbs in there. It's pretty chocker in there. Other than that, but then let's move on then to the second fight of the night, where we had Curtis Blades picking up the decision win against Jairzinho Rozenstruik. What did you make of that fight? I mean, I had it prior to this fight. I had it as my one to watch really. For Curtis Blades to kind of get back on the win column, as I do find him a bit of a dark horse in the division. But what did you make of his performance?
Well, to be honest with you, he set out and did what I thought was probably the best option. I actually think, well, let's forget the pay-per-view bonuses and all that stuff and the fan viewership. If he wants to win the fight, use your wrestling, take the big guy down. Standing with Rozenstruik is it's like tossing a coin. It's a 50-50 chance. And I was actually surprised that he stood for as long as he did with him, to be honest.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Yeah, certainly. And going up against that power of Rozenstruik, and you just sort of waiting for Rozenstruik, didn't you? Waiting for that counter, waiting to sort of catch him. And just like Derek Lewis had done against him. But it was in Curtis Blades' hands to either make a mistake or not. And fortunately, he didn't make the mistake Rozenstruik was waiting for.
No, he capitalized on the takedowns that he did get. When he did get hurt, he managed to get those takedowns when it mattered. Rozenstruik was starting to stuff takedowns, and Curtis Blades was looking a bit tired at one point. And I thought maybe, he's picking up the pace here. He's starting to land a lot more towards the end of the fight. He might win this. But he managed to capitalize on that takedown.
He did well to secure that win.
Yeah, I think he can cause problems for the upper echelon division. Is Curtis Blades? He just needs to get to that next level.
Oh, absolutely. He was ranked second in the division, and I don't think a loss to someone who is an animal like Derek Lewis should bump him out of that spot. Really, you know what I mean? Derek Lewis was losing that fight, to be honest. All respect to him.
Yeah,
but. He got caught with a lucky shot. And to be honest with you, I still see Curtis as number 2 in the division.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. There you go.
He's very skilled.
It's heating up in heavyweight, that's for sure. It's been a long time coming.
What do you think of his call out against Stipe Miocic? Do you think that's a suitable next match for him?
Well, I think if Stipe can't find a fight, he's getting older. I do not think he should stay inactive. I think that is a good fight that they should run. You know what I mean? I think number one, people. Yeah, absolutely. People will watch it too. Like, I want to see that. Don't you guys?
Yeah, absolutely. To be honest, I don't think Stipe is going to wait around for anyone else, really. I think, he's owed the third fight, and he is. For it, so
I do agree with that as well. Like, as a Stipe fan, I would also kind of like to see him, reclaim that championship before his retirement. But I guess it's. You know how it is. It's all about what the boss man wants.
That's it. You know, who's the big draws, and absolutely, it kind of makes sense. But then let's move on then to the Nick Diaz Robbie Lawler fight, because Bob Trotter saying Nick the Quitter Diaz needs to retire for good now because that was pathetic. Really just gave up in there and showed no heart. And you know, I gotta say it was pretty obvious.
I have to say I did feel like there was some watching that fight. I felt a bit of laziness from Nick Diaz in terms of I don't feel like he put enough work outside of the octagon in order for it to show enough in the octagon. I can't believe it was a 5-round fight. It needed to be a 3-round fight, although people would have wanted the 5 rounds of that. But personally, do you think that? Would you agree with what Bob Trotter said there? Do you think he was a quitter, or do you think
quitting?
He was good? Yeah.
I definitely think, like, when you see a display, I could show you a clip on YouTube of what is a fighter giving their all. You know what I mean? Tired or not, what does a fighter look like who's trying to win? And that's not what I saw there. If you're asking me that, there may have been an underlying injury that we don't yet know about. Like, who knows? Maybe he actually did crack a bone in his shin or something, or maybe it was worse. But until we hear about that, yes, I think he was looking for a way out of that fight. Absolutely. Overall, you can see exactly what I agree with you what you guys said. I don't think he trained the same way either. You saw that video a year ago, I think it was, that was posted on Instagram by him and his promotional team, and he was shredded, literally shredded. Yeah. And I didn't see that in there. I don't think you guys did either.
We were expecting it, but then you might have a good point there in saying he could have got injured, and which kind of led to him to get this kind of gut back, you know. And it's possible. And he could have just thought, you know what, I'm going to just try and give it my all. Well, give it his all. Just fight it off and you just get paid, you know?
Yeah. And we see it time and time again in this sport, unfortunately. And obviously we know our athletes are not paid the same caliber as other sports. That's a fact. But I watched Aki Bono limp back to the cage, limp into the cage to fight Bob Sapp. That just tells you, it's like, why are you there? He's there for money.
Yeah.
So we don't know what Nick Diaz's financial situation is or anything like that. And you're exactly right. He might have just been injured and been out of shape and be like, I need this payday.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I kind of suspected it. Like I said during the Walkschlung, I think the Diaz brothers have reached a point where, you know, because for a while they were trying to get the big fights. They're trying to get, and they spent so much time out, not being active. And I think it's caught up with them now, where they're at a point where they're not getting any younger, they're getting older, and you just literally have to
it's all hype.
Bite the bullet and just take fights that you're given, you know?
You're preaching the truth, 100%. Seriously, their times of title fights are long gone. They've both been there. They've both been title contenders in the UFC. I'll be honest with you, the fights that I enjoy the most are kind of the fights that we saw tonight, where, well, despite the give up, but where it's two veterans facing two veterans. Don't put these guys up against young sharks. Like, I'm Canadian. We got our girl Randa Marcos. Great, a very nice person. Yeah. She's 10-11. Her record isn't the greatest. And that's because she's been in a very competitive area in the UFC where it's win-loss over her whole, I think she's had 17 fights in the UFC. So tied for most in the female strawweight division. But yeah, they're feeding her brand new dogs that have records of 13-1. And I'm like, what are you guys doing? I like the veterans versus veterans. Give them their peers, not fucking, you know, I mean, frickin', sorry, I don't know if you guys are acceptable with swearing on here.
We're easy.
Thanks for being respectful, though. That's cool. Yeah.
No, you're right. I do enjoy Randa Marcos as well. It is such a shame, but, you know, I guess it's just the way that the world works. They need a name for these younger people to make a name off, and
you gotta grow the brand, man. I understand too, absolutely.
It's a shame.
And that's a comment there from Ash there saying crazy that they put it at 5 rounds. But he does agree, of course, that Nick was in there for a payday. Yeah, but shall we jump into the next one on the card?
Yeah,
sure, absolutely.
Unless you've got someone you'd like to see Robbie Lawler fight next. Performance from him, either way.
I know you guys were talking, and I heard you say Damian Maia, and as he is out. Trying to think, actually. It's a shame that people like Alan Joban are also gone now.
Yes.
So where is he now? He's what, 15th in the division?
What did he say on the
Yeah,
podcast? But I don't think
he
is.
might still hold his ranking. I'm not sure. He might have got bumped down by other victories.
Right, yeah.
I can't remember.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Maybe if a rematch with RDA. I don't know. I feel like he fought so much better in this fight, and if he fought that way in the RDA fight, I feel like he would have overpowered him and finished him.
Yeah,
another veteran as well, right?
Yeah, but I'm going to call this one out for you. Might be a bit wild. Who knows what's next for him? Mike Perry.
I heard about. Weren't they trying to set that up? Actually,
I think they were. Yeah. Mike Perry versus Robbie Lawler is a dogfight. Make it happen.
I like that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's not like, Mike Perry is a younger man, but it's not like he's a top tier. No. And regardless of his skill, he's not top tier echelon in the sport. Robbie's been up there for decades. So I think that's a fair fight. Absolutely. Yeah. I don't think it would hit the ground either.
What division would they do that?
It'd be a welter.
What, a weight one?
Welter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless they agree to go to middleweight, but that would be I don't know how that would be on Mike, but he doesn't cut weight well anyway, so I don't know.
That's what I was wondering.
No, the only reason he would want to make middleweight is to fight the Darren Till and get that fight over and done with, but even so, I just can't see it.
You guys see the sparring footage between them? That was actually pretty epic. They're having some fun.
No, they do have a good laugh, and Till has said to him, "Look, get a few wins, buddy, and we'll fight." We'll fight. But,
yeah, I like your accent. I like your Till accent.
Don't give a fuck.
I like when he was going at the cops there. He's like, back off me fucking car, you fucking muppet.
You're a loser.
You're a loser.
Oh yeah, no, I'm Canadian. I'm British by blood. Your boys are my boys. I'm serious. When they're on there, I'm like, hey, let's go.
Yeah. We appreciate that, man. We appreciate that.
And moving on
Valentino Shevchenko versus Lauren Murphy.
The
co-main event. Did you expect it to go on for as long as it did? Like most of us, was that a bit of a surprise? You did.
It was definitely a surprise, actually.
Yeah.
I thought it would be finished first round, early second max. Shevchenko usually pushes the pace, and she was much faster than her opponent in this one too, but she did not use that to overwhelm. She she was patient. She took her time.
Yeah, certainly allowed her to get out of certain rounds, but I do like that. Yeah, certainly she could have and should have overwhelmed her a lot sooner than she did.
But
absolutely,
being cautious.
But I mean, maybe just being really, really smart, and I guess being a fan, you want that. It's like aggression, power, all of that to get her out of there. As a fan, you want that, but as a fighter, you got a lot more to risk.
Yeah,
and
absolutely. There's the future on the line, not just they got
to take more things into consideration than we do. We just want blood, guts, and gore.
Yeah. Absolutely. Lauren Murphy, as I said, I do believe she is a very skilled fighter. She's also a very big woman for the division. Yeah. And when you have big arms like that, you're capable of generating sometimes the power that might cause one of those fluke knockouts. So I think maybe Shevchenko was wary of that. And we saw that when she wanted to think about finishing the fight, she turned it up and was more than capable of dealing damage with a head kick. A head kick and strikes that followed. So, I'm really surprised that she shot for that takedown too, to be honest. Lauren Murphy there. She went in hard for the takedown, and Shevchenko looked like she might have gone down for a second, but no, she's great.
Yeah. I mean, I guess once you're getting pieced up on the feet, you got to try something else. You got to think to yourself.
Yeah. Absolutely.
This isn't working. I got to bring something else to this.
And the ground was her bread and butter as well, so...
Yeah, I don't know. It seemed like a lose-lose to her. She's starting to seem like a cyborg figure almost, or a Nunes. Well, she's definitely a Nunes figure where it just seems like we're sacrificing another lamb to an angry god.
Offering another one up.
Yeah, seriously.
That's it. Do you know, the girls in the division are just going to you know what, not even going to even consider being a champion in this division, but number one is what I want to do. And, they're just going to look at Entourage, and they're all going to come for Entourage now, I think.
Absolutely. But sorry, go on then.
Oh, sorry. No, I was literally just going to comment. I think Andrade had a really good performance tonight. I think she'll end up working her way back up there, regardless of the previous loss.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, I can see that as well.
Or change division potentially as well. But would you put Lauren against Andrade? Well, I mean, you got a question of does she deserve
Maybe
it?
put Laura up against someone who's coming off a loss. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know. I feel like Andrade would put her back more in her career. It's not that I want to be offensive and say that I don't think that she's up to the challenge. It's just that I think Andrade is capable of beating her.
Yeah.
I know, absolutely.
Agreed as well.
Think so as well. But what would you like to see next for Valentina Shevchenko? Would you like to see a Nunes rematch?
That is what I want. I think
sense.
that not just me, but a lot of fans would
Find
like
someone
to see
who
that.
doesn't.
Do it.
Exactly.
There's nothing else to do.
It would be good. There's no one
Seriously,
else. There's no
they've
one
both
else.
been so dominant. Like when it comes down to it, of course Amanda Nunes is the female GOAT, but the only other contenders, I guess, Cyborg and, you know, when you're talking about who is female GOAT, Cyborg and Shevchenko, they're the only other ones. They're all three of those girls are in a league of their own. And I do think that Nunes got a bit lucky against Cyborg. I think that she landed the shots that she needed to.
Yeah, okay.
Cyborg in past fights, and I've seen her sparring with guys before, and I think the big stage got to her, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think the fight for the title, and, you know, Amanda Nunes was very dismissive of her abilities, and I think that that's something she's really not used to. So I think that Amanda it needs to be decided, though. Amanda's beaten Cyborg, got her out of the equation. And yes, we've had 2 fights with Shevchenko and Nunes, but Nunes won the first one. And personally, I think Shevchenko almost edged out the second one. It was so close. And she relied on her takedowns, but didn't do much with them at points. You know what I mean? And clinch. I don't know. I'd like to see it ran back exactly as you said. I think it could be a banger.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I love to see that.
You know how that happens. Obviously, Shevchenko will be sacrificing some speed. Should be necessarily going up and meeting Nunes. But yeah, it'd be great to see that happen. We'll see. Only time will tell. But then let's move on then to the main event. We had Bruce Bob Trotter saying wanted Ortega to win. I don't like Volk as champ. But great drama in the third round. Ortega needs to finish those chokes. But Volk has 0 neck because he's a little midget goblin. Cracking comment there. I mean, it was electric, wasn't it, the main event? It definitely lived up to it. Hey, what's up, buddy?
Hey, how you doing?
So tuning in, bro.
Did you get the cheddar? You got the food? Did you come back with the munchies? Bringing home the bacon?
Yeah, he's got his food.
Bringing home the bacon.
Love that. Yeah, absolute.
You enjoyed the show.
Oh,
amazing.
Appreciate it, man. We're so glad to, you know, offer this this idea to you guys. Oh, I've lost my seat.
Oh, my bad. That was my fault.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think I wouldn't say Volk's a midget, but he's definitely very short. He's got a stocky neck. I was really surprised that he escaped that one guillotine, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I was amped up. I was ready to scream when he tapped.
I was
laughing my ass. I was screaming with you guys. I was about 40 seconds ahead of you guys because of the distance travel. I don't know if you know, all that stuff goes under internet wires under the seabed. They lay like 1,000-mile cables under the ocean floor. Like, look it up. It all gets transferred. Like all the wire and data connection gets transferred. Probably took a bit to get there. Anyways, yeah, I was freaking out, and then I'm like, oh my God, I got like maybe 20 seconds. They're going to freak out. It'll be funny to watch them.
You know what's going on, so how we acted to it. I do as well, but it was insane. I mean, when it was going to the third round, and I did think Volkanovski would end it in third round, and it was this close from getting that all called off in the third round. If that round was like another 10 seconds on it, 5 seconds on it even, it would have just got wavered off by Herb. But yeah, absolutely was static. I thought it was just like, clean sweep would have been for me on the picks.
It would have been mad.
Like, I agree. Volkanovski, I will admit, Ortega put up more of a fight than I expected, actually, in terms of the stand-up. I thought that the whole thing would be on the ground, more or less. I thought Volk would use his wrestling and try to eliminate. Well, Ortega does have power. Like, he doesn't always strike as much, but you know, he lands flying knees and uppercuts that have sent people unconscious. And as we saw at the end of the fight, he was landing blows that were doing damage. I don't know how that fight would have continued if they had let the 5th round go on a bit. Ortega was actually starting to push back there and landed some big shots at the end.
It was,
but,
you're right.
Yeah.
No, it was back and forth.
I was surprised about how he recharged ahead of every round. like nearly towards death at the end of the third, and he's like recharged within those 30 seconds, and he's scoring some points in the fourth. He's surviving it, but he's also doing some damage too. And
as you said during the broadcast, you usually see a slight recharge after sitting on the stool, but it lasted a lot longer than I thought it would each time. Yeah. And he actually like caught a second wind, as I said, during the fifth round there, and was pouring it on. It's very interesting to see.
That's the drive. That's the other thing that you can't really teach, isn't it? In fighting, that's the heart a fighter has to give the people something entertaining to watch, a spectacle, and it was.
Absolutely.
Part of that was the referees and the doctors taking that time to have a look at him. You see, it's not really his fault.
They did good jobs, man. Wasn't it Herb? It was Herb.
Yeah. Herb Dean was refereeing.
Yeah, I always have a famous saying. It's called Herb Dean is on the screen because the man gets business done. You know what I mean? Despite a couple hiccups here and there over his career,
he has done.
Man is one of the best out there.
He's always doing the main events, isn't he? He's often there, but. He has had some slip-ups. So we've seen and commented.
I don't let him get off with those either. Everyone's human. Everyone makes mistakes, but at least he ain't no Steve Mazzagatti.
That's it. We're glad to get rid of his ass long ago.
For safety reasons.
For safety reasons, exactly. Yes, he was inflicting even more damage than what was necessary on a lot of occasions. Yeah. But then who would you like to see Volkanovski fight next? Have you got anyone else in mind?
I think you guys know what's coming. The last fight was so close. Dropped in the first, dropped in the second.
Yeah.
Arguably could have won the fight.
Yeah.
Chris thought he won the fight.
Yes, Chris.
You agree on that too?
Yeah, I would like to see a third match with Max Holloway, the honorary Canadian.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Salute. It makes sense.
I see it coming.
He calls Canada the sixth island of Hawaii. Yeah, it's pretty funny. On our UFC Fight Pass, they display his stuff, and they'll be like, the honorary Canadian.
Oh, yeah.
They know it markets to us, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
I'd love to see that.
You're built different. You certainly are, you Canadians. It's you got some talent there in the UFC, of course. GSP.
Absolutely, we've set some records for ourselves. Decent enough job. We're not as prominent as I'd like us to be right now. We're starting to work our way up the rankings with the younger generations of fighters that are coming in. But you saw the old guys that really held it together. They've retired and moved on now. So
pass the baton on, absolutely. But Holloway would be, I mean, it would be an amazing fight. Do you feel like Holloway got better against Cato? Do you think the Holloway you saw against Cato would beat the Volkanovski?
I think that,
or does he still need to do some
growing? It's so tough to say. Those lag kicks are always going to be an issue, but he dealt with them. Cater said he was going to batter his leg, and he did kick him from time to time. But Max, by the end of the fight, you guys saw the result. He was talking to the commentary, dipping and dodging punches, while cracking people out, and
so much confidence,
shushing the commentator.
Anik,
If he keeps that level of confidence and manages to do something like that on the feet, I believe mentally that will do something to Volkanovski enough to cause the slip.
Yes.
And don't get me wrong, I like Volk, but as Canadians, I'm sure you guys know we're competitive with the Australians. They're kind of our rivals in this thing, and they got too many guys on top right now.
Yeah.
Not that I want to see people lose for our own selfish ambitions or anything.
Love that.
That's excellent. Yeah, that's cracking. Yeah, man. Some great post-fight thoughts there. It's been fantastic hearing from you, and it's great to meet you at last, of course, as well.
Yeah, man.
And we'll be excited to
welcome
see
you
pop
to many
in
more watch-alongs and potentially fan cams too, man.
Indeed.
Always
absolutely, man. Absolutely. Let me know when you got something going on. Usually I work, so I can tune in or I'll rewatch what you guys have posted. But if on the weekends, let me know, and I'll definitely, if you guys have a spot free, I'll pop in on a fan cam. This is fun.
That's awesome.
Amazing, man.
Awesome.
Yeah, no, I'll be excited for that as well. I'd be even excited to maybe perhaps get a clip of your picks as well prior to the event for our People's Pick Show. That'd be also great as well.
Yeah, I'll actually send it to Ash there. I got Ash as a contact on Twitter, so I'll pop it to him just for shits and gigs there.
Brilliant. Yeah, I love that. Love that. I mean, I think a lot of the fans that'll be watching this as well will know that you know your stuff when it comes to fighting, and that's the sort of opinions we do want to share. So whether it's going to be in these post-fight fan cams or in those pay-per-view sort of pre-event picks, we'll have to sort of have that showcase to the audience, man. Absolutely.
We've got a month away to the next pay-per-view, so and it's going to be a barn burner as well. But
absolutely.
We'll look forward to hearing from you, Taylor.
Yeah,
nice speaking with you. Get some good rest, get some good sleep, and we'll speak to you soon.
Thanks for joining us. Take care, man. Good
Pleasure. Thank you for having me, gentlemen.
See you later, guys.
Peace out.
Bye-bye.